Video is to demonstrate how to put multiple graphs on the same file with Google Sheets. There's a couple ways you can do this, and some are a little bit more obvious than others. One way that you can do it is to simply add another sheet. If we click on this, you'll see that it adds another sheet. The reason it says sheet 3 is because I added one and I deleted it. And here I would just type in my y's, or my x's and my y's again, the way I did it in the earlier videos. I could then change this, rename this tab so that it says y is equal to x to the second power, because that's what the second graph would be like. I'm going to show you another way to do it where everything's kind of all in the same sheet. So I'm getting rid of this, and we'll go back to a second way. A second way would be to use these same x's adjacent to this column and start generating another data set of y's. And so I'm going to actually say this is y2, and the reason I'm using 2 is because that's the second function that's listed in the lab. This would be, go back to changing it to y1, and y2 was the parabola, so I can actually enter a formula here to have it compute the values of y for me. So what I'll do is say equals, and A2 is the cell. I want to raise it to the second power, and then if I hit enter, you'll notice that I have the the correct number. All I have to do is copy that down. Now, I definitely want to graph this set of data versus this set of data, and I want to do it on a different graph than this one. I could add a series to this one. The problem is because the range is so much larger for this graph than it is for this graph, this line will look more or less horizontal, and you won't even really be able to see it. You can try that and play around with the program a little bit if you'd like, but I'll show that in the Logger Pro video, because that's actually a little simpler to do, to add another series to it. So what I want to do now is I want to insert another graph, insert a chart. Now we want to pick which chart type we want, and of course we always want to use the scatter plot. In this case, notice that we do see we have a pretty nice parabola, and then I want to make sure my data range is correct. I want to add my x values here to be A2 to A2. We say OK, and there we have it. Now that doesn't look like it changed much, except for now we actually have the actual x values correctly listed on there. Before I did that, you wouldn't have seen it. It's just kind of graphing them incrementally. So that's why we want to do that. You can label them all of the same way that we did before, but now I have this one file, 2 graphs on it, all the data is on the same spreadsheet, or like I showed you before, you can add another sheet and do your separate graph that way as well.